What would I like to talk about? I like to talk about everything. A lot of shit, really.
This would be like a bounce off from your previous video, huh?
I guess it could be that. Why not? I don't know. I kind of like having this conversation with you because
The
it's,
incentives.
yeah, it's fun. I like having not just a white girl perspective, but as well as a wife, a Polish girl perspective. Um, I don't know, just you.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say my perspective doesn't necessarily. I'm not speaking for any group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm speaking for myself.
All right. So, well, I guess we could start off with the introduction.
Well, I'm not gonna keep introducing myself with every video that you do with me. I'm serious. I'm Art's wife. That's about as much as people need to know about me at this particular moment.
This particular moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of people, people are curious about who the fuck is this white woman, uh, you know.
I don't
And
consider myself white. I consider myself Polish.
well, it's more like, okay, like what process that you underwent to actually get yourself with a black man or a Haitian man on top of that.
I'm
And
looking for a specific color of a man or a specific nationality. I was just, in the process of meeting new people, and I met you, and we kind of clicked, and
yeah,
one thing led to another, and now everything is history.
yeah, okay.
I didn't get with you because of your skin color. I didn't get with you because of the size of your dick. I didn't get with you because of how you.
Well, if anybody asks
I
you,
didn't get with you because of the, motion of the ocean or the size of the boat. I got with you because
if
a
anybody,
lot has to do with conversation. You were the only male that I met at that particular time in my life that I could actually have a conversation with.
well, if anybody ever asks you about the size of the boat, let them know that you have a destroyer. Well, I have a destroyer.
You want me to lie, sweetie?
You're right, because a destroyer will be a lie. Tell them an aircraft carrier.
How about you let me speak for myself, sweetheart, huh?
No, fuck that shit. Not when it comes to the size of my boat.
It was definitely not your sense of humor. I could tell you that much.
All right, so we lived in Poland for a little while, right?
Yes. I mean, I live there.
Well, yeah, he still lived there. But when we first got to Poland, for the first time when I went to Poland was in 2013. And
Mm-hmm.
lived there for, I think, 3 to 4 years, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, no, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I had the chance to actually saw where you grew up and fell in love with the place, with the culture, and the people.
I think that's when you started realizing how similar you and I actually are.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Because, like, you know what it is? It's like, I think in the States, right? Americans, whether you're black or white, they don't realize how similar their culture are. Because whenever, like, Americans, they go outside of the country, people don't look at you as you're Black American or you white American. They look at you as you're an American.
And loud. I'm sorry, but
So it's like, you have the stereotype of, like, whether you're loud or arrogant or
you want to find out what kind of privilege you are used to, travel. And it'll showcase exactly what privilege you are.
Pretty much, because it's like, and I think the reason why people in Poland, they actually they didn't have any problem with me is because we both of our culture have this understanding, whereas respect and honor,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore it's like however you treat people, that's how people are gonna receive you as. So a lot of your mannerism, your etiquette, and a lot of things that has to do with whether or not you will be accepted in a culture.
Mm. I think that one of the biggest similarities between our cultures is how we raise our kids to be mature at a young age. you know, because I believe in your family as well as my family. We've been taught that we are the representatives of the family, especially when our parents aren't around.
Yeah.
We represent them. So we have to carry ourselves a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that I noticed is I didn't see in America when I moved there.
Yeah, that part is missing a lot because you know we both grew up in an environment to which like it takes a village to raise a kid.
Yeah.
So then whenever you messed up, let's say you do something stupid in the street or whatever, somebody gonna tell your parents, and then your parents gonna give you a whooping.
Well, not just that, we didn't have a lot, so we were raised to take care of what we have. You know, we weren't raised to dispose of whatever's broken. We were raised to fix it and to preserve it. Like I would have a pair of shoes, and that pair of shoes better last me for 6 months because we couldn't. Not only could we not afford to buy another pair of shoes, but there wasn't another pair of shoes to be bought in the stores.
Yep.
You know, I grew up on hand-me-downs because Poland was a communist nation when I was born. So, you know, there wasn't anything in the stores.
Yeah.
So, like, to this day, people joke that they had a whole lot of money, but there was nothing to buy. So, between my mom and my mom's friend, they would just pass down sweaters back and forth. You know, my mom had no choice but to know how to make clothes because you couldn't buy them.
Yeah, know how to knit, and you actually right now you know how to knit and sew. I think you know. Well, I don't know. No, you don't know how to sew. You know how to knit.
I know how to sew. I don't know how to sew on a machine.
Okay, because you knit some hat for me. You actually you sell sometimes, I believe, and we actually we're gonna have this. That's another subject.
Yeah.
Well, you pretty much you are like I don't know. There's so much knowledge in your head, right? As far as knowing how to do certain things.
Skills. Well, you know, a couple of years ago, my question was skills are very important. I'm not a, you know, I'm into a lot of tinfoil information. I like to dig into certain things. So, you know, you get to a point where it's just, you kind of want to prep yourself for certain situations, whether they happen or not. And to me, it didn't make sense to stockpile a lot of stuff because we travel a lot. So to me, what makes sense is stockpile on knowledge and skills. So if something happens, no matter where I am, I can make something of it.
Okay.
So that's where I started taking in, like, you know, in my mind, I was just like, okay, what kind of skills can a woman do? I mean, I know how to build certain things because I used to help my dad build. I can't really repair mechanics because that's just not who I am. So, you know, I'm not really a plumber, although I could fix a toilet. I could clean a sink because I do those kind of things. But I can't build, you know, I can't build a plumbing system. I don't know what it's called. So, you know, but because to me, that's a man thing. I can chop wood. You know, I can raise chickens. I can kill chickens if I have to because I've done it in my lifetime. So in my mind, I'm just taking, you know, I have a checklist of what kind of skills can a woman do that might come in handy later on. Like my grandmother, right? She was a teenager during World War II. And one of the ways she was able to get around in life you know, in occupied Poland, she would, excuse me, she would sew wedding dresses for Germans, you know?
Yep.
So when the German soldiers and generals would get married, my grandmother would be the lady that they go to for a dress. So she was so skilled at her, so talented at her skill that when the Germans were leaving, they actually gifted her a sewing machine.
Yep.
That at that time it was you know, it was very expensive. So that's in my mind. That's how I'm thinking. What kind of skills can I have that no matter what situation I'm in or where I'm thrown in and what I have, I can make something of it.
Mm-hmm. It's it's interesting because you one of your grandparents, right? Because you had one of your grandparents, they was sent to Siberia. And
no, my grandparents, my grandfather's sister.
Your grandfather's sister. Okay, yeah. So she was sent to Siberia,
To a
and
labor camp, yes.
to a labor camp. And then you also have another grandparents where I think her dad was a border patrol agent, and then he was executed.
Well, yeah, he was not a soldier, not a border soldier, but not a general, but one of those lieutenants. I think he was a lieutenant, and yes, he got killed and dumped in a mass grave.
Yeah.
Uh,
These that
my dad's mother, she was in a labor camp in Germany, not in Siberia. My grandfather's sister, my other, yeah, I mean, it was Poland during World War II. There's stories, you know. My grandfather was one of the messenger boys that would go between the rebels, you know, delivering messages, and he would tell me how the kids would just, one of the things the kids would do is just destroy the train tracks just so the trains, you know, would derail.
Okay.
Everybody plays a role.
Yeah, and it's like I think that's one of the reasons why like Polish people, they get us so upset whenever they are portrayed in the media as this whole neo-Nazi type.
Oh, we fought against them. You know, we were the front.
Yeah.
So to accuse us of being what we fought against is extremely disrespectful.
You know, it's pretty much like
saying that the Jewish people, you were the guards at the camps.
Or let's say the Haitians.
That's how disrespectful it feels to a Polish person.
Or saying like, let's say the Haitians, we colluded with the French and whatever, and you know,
yeah. You know. Well, were there some people who colluded with the enemy? Of course, that happens in every battle in every nation. But you know, as a people, that's insulting to you and to me. You know.
Okay. So now let me ask you this. All right. What are the?
I don't know much about history, so please don't ask me.
No. Well, no. Actually, it's not about history. My next question is about relationship, right?
Okay.
What are the difference? Can you tell between relationships you see in the States, as well as what do you see in Poland? How would you compare the two?
You mean romantic relationships?
Well, relationship period, whether it's romantic, whether it's for like to build a legacy, or how do you see it?
Build a legacy, so that's still romantic. So you're talking about like dating and marital situations.
Yeah, dating and marital situation.
I think Polish people. All right, Polish people. We because it's a cold climate, we tend to prepare for the future, right?
Yep.
America, since its inception, never really had to do that very much. You know, it's always been progressive. So it's always had machinery. It was, industry. So it never really had to, okay, you need to chop enough wood to keep your ass warm for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
I think relationships are exactly the same way. The relationships in Poland are built to prepare for what's coming. Right? So you need to prepare for when you're older. You can't afford a care home. You cannot afford a senior home. So you need to make sure to have a spouse who can tend to you, as well as the kids who can tend to your legacy. That's, so when you start dating, I don't know how it is now, but Polish people used to, I will say used to, because I'm basing it on my past experience, used to date to be married, to find a lifelong partner. In the States, people date to fuck.
Yeah.
That's the major difference that I see.
Well, I mean, so because my culture and your culture, they have some similarities, right? But the difference that I was able to see that difference also did create some conflict in our relationship, is that Haitians' relationship is more polygamous based, but for Polish relationship, it's more monogamous. So what sort of as far as conflict resolution, how would the two meet, especially us being especially people that are in interracial relationship? And as far as Black men, we are known as the type that just, we're dogs. We love to fuck around. And how does that help when it comes to
Okay, before I can answer your question, let me bring up the fact that, like I said, Polish people need to prepare, right?
Yep.
Cold climate people tend to prepare for the future. So we get married thinking, I need someone who can wipe my ass when I can't do it myself. Warmer climates tend to not have to think that far ahead. So warmer climates are more like, let me produce as many offspring as I can to work the fields. And I don't mean it in any like, forced labor. I mean in, okay, I need to feed the family. So we need to have enough labor force to produce the food, to whether we go hunting or we grow our own or we go foraging in the woods. So that's why there tends to be a lot more promiscuity in the Black community, which tends to come more from the warmer climates. That's my perspective, right? That's what I think is happening. Now, to answer your question, if you could if you can repeat it again so I can kind of have a...
All right. Well, the question is like, say that, okay, let me kind of rephrase the question. Okay, right?
Yes, because I was having trouble with...
All right. Interracial relationship is on the rise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have two sets of cultures. You have, let's say, the Caucasian culture or European or whatnot. They tend to veer more towards the monogamous side of things, monogamy. And whereas in the Black culture, let's say Black men, we have this stereotype as we love to fuck around. So then how do you see this working, this conflict to work versus like there's two major differences, monogamy and polygamy?
Okay. You'll need conflict resolution in this situation, and that will have to be in the form of a compromise.
All right.
All right. And for that to happen, you need to sit down with your partner or your spouse and think about your future and what it is that is your goal. Some people's goal is a legacy. And to create a legacy, you need monogamy, because a legacy cannot be passed down to 50 kids. Legacy can only be passed down to 3, 4, 5. Tops, preferably once, because if you want to look at how kings and queens used to do it, if you had, the more kids you have, the more, I don't want to say bastards because that's been used as a bad word, but the more kids you have with different wives, the more argumentation will occur when the king dies and somebody needs to inherit the throne, right? So what happens with your legacy when you have too many kids is it gets diluted completely and it might get lost in the fight. So if you're looking for legacy, monogamy is the way to go. Now, if you're looking for party or, just luxury, well, luxury, not even legacy, but if you're looking for the materialistic life, all right, if you're looking for a materialistic life, then polygamy is your choice because that's more fun.
Okay.
Right? So that's what you have to talk to. You have to talk to your spouse and agree, come up with which ones you're willing to do. Now, if you're trying to combine legacy with party, that's going to be a little bit harder, but it is doable depending on how open you and your spouse are and how much trust and loyalty there is between the two of you.
Yeah.
But the only way any conflict resolution can occur is through open communication. You need to be willing to talk to your spouse or your partner about anything and not be afraid of their reaction.
Yeah. All right. Put it this way, right? So, like this morning, you kind of got mad at me.
Yes, but I didn't get mad at what you said. I got mad because you didn't share it with me first.
Well, how about you? So what happened? So walk me through it. Like.
Okay. So you did a 2-part podcast, right?
Yep.
About the 4 pillars of cheating, non-cheating, whatever you want to call it. And then the second one was incentive. I wish you would break each one down into a separate podcast, but it's okay. Incentives are very important. We all love prizes. Well, so that's why I got a special podcast. That's fine. Well, when you first did the introduction, you shared it with me, and I thanked you for it because I really appreciate it. But you shared it with me saying that you're not sure how I'm going to react because you said some things that I might take the wrong way.
Yep.
And when I listened to it, I didn't feel any which way because it made sense to me.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, I seen that you shared a video with me, but it was unavailable. So I knew that it was still on private. So I sent you a message saying that you left your video on private. If you want me to watch it, you gotta share. You know, you gotta unprivate it or make it public. Well, not make it public, but you gotta unlist it. Yep. And you didn't see my message, right? Which that is an issue that is a disagreement we have often where you just kind of ignore some of my messages sometimes. And, you know, even though I understand that you cannot get back to me on every single platform there is at all times because, you know, life is busy, it still makes me feel a certain way.
I get it.
Right. Yes. So I sent you the message and you didn't see it. And then this morning I woke up and I saw that you posted the video. So I didn't get a preview preparation of the video. I just got dumped in after 10 people already seen it. And that made me feel a certain way because that video was the one that you should have shared with me first thing. I'm not sure how you're going to react.
All right, okay. For those of you who's curious about what video we're talking about, right? So I first talked about what are the steps that actually can lead a man or actually prevent a man from cheating, you know? So I talked about your environment, the bond that you have with your partner, discipline, as well as your incentive, right? So that's the first one that I share with you.
Yes, and you shared that one with me early on before you shared with anybody else. So I had a chance to kind of prepare myself for it.
Yeah. So the second one was more about incentive, right? But the title was "Would the occasional threesome, you know, prevent a man from cheating?" Right?
That's a no.
So yeah. Yes and no.
Yeah, I know. I'm on that. I'm on that as well.
You're gonna be on that no side. You're like, nah, motherfucker, I ain't sharing that dick.
No. I'm not 100% no on that one. But
yeah. All right. So I understood why you were upset because I guess you kind of felt like, well, you hate surprises, right? Mm-hmm. So you hate when you just automatically it's like it came out and be like, wait, what? Threesome and all that shit. And plus the fact that you needed some time to prepare, so then therefore you could at least understood where I was coming from.
Exactly. So, I give you a chance to tell me about it before the whole world had a chance to, you know. Yeah.
So then by that time when we had the chance to discuss it, then your guards was like way up and shit like that. You acted like you had something up.
My ego was fully activated. Okay, my ego was fully activated and ready to throw some mean old punches. Which is what you should, what you were trying to avoid, and that's why it should have been shared with me first.
Yeah, but you know what it is? Shit happens, and every time I get into a fight with you, I just want to choke you a little bit.
All right, let's leave all that private shit to tomorrow.
All right, cool. So therefore, we had the chance to discuss, what needed to be, what needed to be done. Whatever your ego came down, right? Like the fall of Jericho. So we had.
But you were willing to explain yourself, yeah.
Yeah, so I had the chance to explain. So you understood where I was coming from.
Yep. I mean, I understood where you were coming from the beginning, but you know how it goes. Mm-hmm. Catch me off guard, and you're gonna get that, them horns.
Them horns. I like them horns. Well, all right. So the thing is this, right? Okay, so casual sex, thoughts, and relationship fights.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of time is that as couples, we don't know how to resolve our conflicts. And we always tend to have that ego to which, let's say that, like, for example, your ego was up and then whatever the fuck I said, you didn't want to hear it. And then
I wanted to hear it. I just wasn't prepared to take it in.
Yeah, so you weren't prepared to take it in. And a lot of time when you have, like, let's say one party is mad and then the other person now, he's either like have to get on that level with you to be just as mad, and then make blow shit more out of proportion, or they try to create that balance to whereas like they will try to be comprehensible, or once their frustration gets out of hand, they also have to snap in order to actually get a point across. Because that shit happens all the time with us. Let's say that I'm trying to calm you down and I can't get to you, and then I'm frustrated now. I snap back.
That calms me down right away. See, that's all you need to do is be a man and just put some bass in your voice.
You cunt.
Just don't walk away. Don't walk away. That's the mistake that a lot of men have. They don't like to fight. So as soon as a woman gets rambunctious, they want to open that door and walk away. And
yeah, but see, this is the thing. I used to be like that before. I came from, especially with my background, right, as a Haitian. Haitian men, we hate showing vulnerability, right? We hate because to us, vulnerability is a sign of weakness.
Well, it kind of.
When we actually allow a woman, to actually put it this way, right? So when we allow a woman to actually get to us, right, to actually piss us off. So what usually tend to happen is that like we would leave because we don't want to like, snap at her or break shit in the house.
Yeah, but if that's true, then why the hell are you leaving one woman just to get into the arms and legs of another one?
Exactly. So
that makes sense.
No. So put it this way, right? So sometimes we would just like we would be fucking the other chick and then thinking about how pissed off we are at you.
Yes, taking out all that frustration on the other chick when the bitch hasn't even earned it.
So that was also like one of the things that I've actually like I came to understand about the Polish culture, right?
Because, well, I don't know the Polish culture, but definitely me.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying though is it's like one of the patterns that I see when it comes to Polish men is that like they are gentlemen and assholes at the same fucking time.
Yep.
And it's like
not impossible.
It was a weird pattern. Like, how do you actually jump from one extreme to the next? Like, motherfuckers actually simp, buy flowers and all that shit, do all of cuddy, kissy type of shit. And then to the next minute, they're calling, oh, kurva this, kurva that. They're calling,
No. Hold on, get that straight. Yeah. They're not calling their woman a kurva.
I know they're not, but
they're saying, oh, what the fuck? Why the fuck you snapping now? What the fuck is your goddamn problem, woman? Just bring me my goddamn food. I worked my ass up and shut up. I'll give you kisses later. That's it. That's what they're doing.
My point is this, right? It's like, okay, with the Polish culture, both men and women were allowed to express themselves fully. Right?
Yeah.
And then no cops involved, no other family members involved. As a matter of fact, when, let's say, if your parents are fighting, the kids don't get involved. They just let them be. Whereas in the States, there's this culture where it's like, okay, in my culture, I'm not talking about the American culture. In my culture, I'm more familiar with that. Parents tend to get very involved in their kids' relationship, and I think because of that, a lot of Haitian relationship doesn't work out because of the involvement of the parents. But
I'm sure my mom would love to get involved in our relationship. She just wouldn't dare to cross me.
Well, yeah, exactly. She doesn't.
You gotta step it back. But that's because I suppose, all right, because we see our parents. We take our lessons from our parents. So we see conflict resolution between our parents. I think the problem that happens in the Haitian community is because of your polygamy. As soon as the man gets pissed off at one woman, he runs to the next one, which means he never has a chance to have conflict resolution. And the conflict resolution isn't for you and your spouse. I mean, it helps, but it's not. It's for your future generations that need to learn how to resolve issues without burning the whole goddamn village down.
We just try to burn shit. We just fuck. It's like this, right? Okay, look. When it comes to polygamy, I understand certain talk about it. It's like, but at the end of the day, those who suffer the most are the kids.
Exactly. And that's the parents don't realize the kid is not your blessing. You are supposed to be the blessing of your child. So you make the sacrifices okay, in order for your child to grow into a fucking healthy adult. You not arguing with your spouse is not teaching anything to your child. It's just teaching them that there is no need to resolve issues.
It's like, put it this way, right? It's like, okay, like my dad was an awesome dude, awesome guy. But I never actually had the chance to really get to know him, because whenever he was around, there was like 2 other baby moms he had to go and visit to spend time with their kids and all that shit. So then therefore our time was so divided. So then it's like we pretty much, for that 2 weeks or that 3 weeks that he was in Haiti visiting, then like each one of us had the chance to have just a little bit of piece of him. So then therefore, like, I never really had the chance to know my dad. I knew the idea of him. So, I had like this basic.
Yeah, you had a fantasy.
Well, yeah, it's more, it's like this image that for that 2 weeks that, that he was around, for that 2 or 3 weeks, a year that he was around, or actually every 2 years, right? For that 2 or 3 weeks he was around, for every 2 years, then I had the chance to be like, okay, I think that's what my dad is. So, I always see him as this calm demeanor, this cool guy. He never loses. And when he's upset with you, he lets you know what's up, but never having to actually lose his shit, And
yeah, he was never there long enough to lose his shit.
Exactly. He was never
lose his shit. He would just travel to the next baby mom.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, exactly. He was never there long. Like, he was never there long enough to actually, to either never to do the discipline, or to, like, he was an awesome dad when it comes to like taking care of responsibility financially, but from a spiritual, not spiritual, from an emotional support, then that part was missing.
But see, it's interesting because that was one of the issues I had with you for a long time, is where you thought that a dad's job is just to financially support his children. And me, I was just like,
hold on a second, babe. Hey, what's up? All right, hold up. Yeah, so go ahead, you were saying?
Yeah, so to me it was just like, but I can provide the finances myself. I don't need you for that. I mean, it's helpful to have a second income, but that is not the only, that's your role as a human being in this planet, is to provide finances for yourself. Now, when you're with somebody else, then you pull your finances together and provide for each other. But your role as a dad is so much deeper than that. And for many years, we had an issue with that, because you didn't want to step into that role, because to you it was like, but I'm providing finances. What's the issue?
Well, yeah, it's like, look, I had to learn how to be a dad.
Because you didn't have a good example. I'm not saying your dad's a bad example. I'm just saying he wasn't there.
No, okay, look.
Example. So you only had the fantasy of what you thought a dad is supposed to be, rather than actually physically have him there to show you what a dad and a husband does. Which is why a lot of times African American men make amazing dads, but you guys suck as a husband. Absolutely suck as husbands. You know why? Because instead of learning how to be a husband, you learn how to be a fuckboy from all the little boys that your mom takes on. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I'm saying if you're a single mother, do not bring men to your house, because that is the example you are teaching your children. Mm-hmm. Your daughters are learning that those are the kind of men that are men, and your sons are learning that is what it means to be a man. And that's a bad example, because shit, man, we all like to fuck the bad one.
Yo, but
sorry, I got off on a tangent.
Fuck it. Hey, I like that. So, but this is the thing though, right? This is the thing. Because there's, as men, right? Mm-hmm. This is the thing about it. Because like, we have no problem being responsible, right? But we also hate the lack of freedom that comes with the responsibility.
But that's as an adult.
Yeah, that's as an adult. So I think one of the reasons why, like, African American male, we have that fuckboy reputation is, we have no problem being a dad, but the child comes with the mother. It's a package deal. You mm-hmm. can't have one without the other. Mm-hmm. Right? So that emotional embargo that is being misplaced.
That's the sacrifice you don't want to make. You're willing to make every sacrifice for your child, but to deal with the mother that you chose to have your child.
Exactly. So now, so the mother now, because they are they become that emotional wreck based on so many failed relationships, so many bad ones, and with the environment, all that shit. So then they behave as a cutthroat.
Well, no woman, I don't care what anybody says, no woman wants to raise a child by herself.
No, I agree with you with that.
That's an emotional stress. Men don't realize the kind of threat to be a mother. Whether you want to use it as a financial fucking income for the next 18 years, that's a whole other story. But to be a mother, you actually give up a part of your life to that child. So that part, that it is hard to do. No woman wants to do that on her own. But the problem arises when she has to do that on her own and raise a grown-ass man because he's still a child mentally.
See, like, okay, as far as when it comes to the whole child thing, right?
Yeah.
To some, like, I could sympathize with certain single moms, right? Not all of them. Because some of them are clearly using this as a hustle.
Yeah, but that's
still listen though, right? But the thing about it though is, like, with each generation, you either have a choice. You can either continue the pattern or you break the cycle. And therefore, a woman who never actually been taught how to actually choose the right guy, then will continue to actually on that path to choosing the wrong man. And therefore, like, you can either blame the parents for never teaching them how to, but at the same time, there's a certain level of personal responsibilities that come with it. The same thing as the men. If you could blame you could blame the baby mom and all that shit, but at the end of the day, shit, you're the one that was fucking Big Booty Brenda. You're
the one who has to choose where you nut.
So at the end of the day,
bury your nut, okay? If you bury your nut in a swamp, whose fault is it? The swamp's or yours?
Yeah, because like, and it's not like it's not like I'm shitting on single moms and all that shit, because why would I want to do that? Like, I understand it.
Yeah.
But it's just, okay, we all want to have, like, okay, as men, right? I'm speaking from a man perspective. We like to have this fantasy of our women treat us like a king, as well as our, like, our woman to regard us as her king as well as her fuckboy. So the awe that comes with it, like, the royal penis is clean, your highness, type of treatment. And so therefore, that's why a lot of time, right? So that's why a lot of time, because of how society portray what a wife should be and what a husband should be, so then we take on that characteristic that has been placed upon us. So it's like, oh, a wife shouldn't be sucking her husband's dick, but not realizing, like, if she doesn't do this freaky stuff, who the fuck else should?
Well, I don't know about wives, but I know once you have kids with a woman, you stop looking at her as, a woman.
Hold on a second. All right, go get your water. Go on.
Are you stuck with the kids?
Well, Daphne didn't go to work. My sister didn't go to work today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, so
is there a way for you to, like, just get a private room so we can talk, or?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that.
Yeah, just ask Daphne if you can, just because we don't want to have a situation like last time where you were unable to do anything because once the kids realized you were recording, they wanted in on the fun.
Oh yeah, I know. Which is a situation right now where this little one came down here.
Oh yeah, they're starting. I see.
This one come down here talking about she want to get some water.
Oh man, don't get Auntie serious in there, because I'm just as serious as my name fits. I will go, military on that ass.
Hold on a second.
Mhm.
Hold on a second.
Why do you have to talk about me?
Lady, I'm busy right now. Hold on a second. Go.
You are not all your
All right, I'm back. So go ahead. You should have talked. Continue talking about what you were saying.
I think you was I saying or were you saying? See this? Can you get a private room?
Um,
Like close the doors with a lock on and everything.
hold on a second.
I don't mean to be rude, but it's just I know kid,
Mm-hmm.
and that interruption is not going to be the last one, even though it's the first one.
Oh yeah, I turned off the camera right now.
Okay.
All right, cool. Anyway, so where were we?
So you just turned off the camera, but you're still in the same space?
No, I'm in a different space right now.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, so what
Okay.
so we were talking about.
I've got breaking cycles written over here.
Yeah, breaking cycles. So
I think every generation's role is to break the cycle of the last generation.
mm-hmm.
So that it's like I broke the cycle of the damage that occurred in my parents' generation.
Yeah.
Now it's my child's turn once she's an adult to break the cycle of whatever issues she saw in our parenting, because no parent is perfect. Everybody fucks up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what you were talking about, single moms.
Yeah. Well, I think as well though is like I see it this way. With each generation, with each pattern you break, then you also have to make some adjustment to that generation, and to which the landscape itself changes. Like for example, whether it's polygamy or monogamy, then if monogamy doesn't always work or polygamy doesn't always work, then there's always going to be some sort of adjustment that actually comes to it. Because when it comes to marriage or relationship, right? And then because of the old mantra of what a wife behavior should be or what a husband behavior should be, and that and it's like there's this level of fakery that come with it, and therefore like a lot of people were getting sick and tired of it. And because it's like, put it this way, right? Due to the climate, the sexual market that has been going on in the West period, and makes it very hard to actually still maintain those conservative values in any relationship.
Yeah, but that's what makes it extra more important to maintain them for the future generation.
Yes, it is. But now the thing is like, how can you actually still have a certain level of, you know, indecency, yet still actually keep up with your responsibility? And I think that's that, like, which is the last video that had pissed you off to a certain degree. Whereas like you know, people.
Well, I had more trouble with the way you were saying things than what you were actually saying. Just because, you know, it can be easily misinterpreted.
Oh yeah, exactly. So it's like, because when I was talking, it's not like I was saying that, well, you know, your wife have to give you threesome all the fucking time.
No, you have to have an understanding. Like, to me personally, I don't believe in the roles that society sets upon you. I believe, you know, the husband and wife should have communication open, so open that they can talk about their wants and needs and necessities and what they would like to see in their relationship, and come to some kind of a compromise that works for both of them. You know, compromise is no one can have everything they want.
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, no one should have everything they want. Okay, but everyone can have a little to keep them satisfied.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, the issues that a lot of women have is, well, if I give my husband what he wants, he's just going to go screw everybody. And it's like, is that really what he wants? I mean, really? Or is that just the interpretation you have because as soon as he opens his mouth, that's where you're like, nah, I already know what you want. You want a whole bunch of new pussy all the fucking time. So it's your ego talking. You know, you got to let him speak it out. And a lot of times the man himself doesn't know what he wants until he starts talking about it. That's why a lot of times, I don't know if anyone else notices it, but a lot of times the reason it's good to talk to your spouse is because you're talking, and as you're talking, these truths start coming out, and you're like, oh, I didn't even realize that's what it is that I like.
Well, yeah.
I don't realize this is what I actually want. But the problem is people are so busy talking to themselves in their head and not talking to their spouse. And your head isn't going to convince you that what you want is wrong. No? Like a man wants his wife to be, you know, on her knees, cleaning him from head to toes.
Well, put it this way, right? Okay, like
is that really what you want? Because I don't think so. Because once you have it, you're gonna start realizing, God damn, I don't want a doormat.
Well, put it this way, right? Okay, like one of the points that you brought up, I believe this morning was, okay, let's say you gave the example of T.I. and Tiny, right?
Yeah.
They had like a freaky lifestyle, you know, occasional.
Yeah, a lot of women nowadays think that, you know, if a man, you know, to prevent a man from cheating or going further, they want to give him a threesome. But the problem that occurs a lot of times is the men tend to be like, well, if it's okay for me to do it with her, then why is it not okay for me to do it when she's not around?
Yeah.
You know, but that's because you never had that. Your man was never mature in the first place. You didn't give him the threesome because that's what both of you guys wanted and that's the compromise you both came up with. You gave him the threesome because he promised you that he would never go fucking around behind your back if you did it with him. That's never going to work because he never resolved it within himself.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating is a personal issue. A lot of times cheating is nothing more than a fucking habit that didn't get resolved.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that the man needs, it's like any addiction. You cannot tell alcoholics to quit alcohol because that alcoholic will always find an excuse and reason not to. They'll quit for a week. But then as soon as you start arguing, guess what happens? You gave him a reason to drink, right? The same thing with a man who cheats. Okay, no matter what you do, everything you do will be a reason for him to cheat if he's not ready to stop.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, ladies, okay, if it's a new relationship, he's gonna fuck on you. It's going to happen. Black. There is just no avoiding that situation. What you can hope for is maybe eventually that motherfucker will mature enough to realize, I don't want that life. You can't force him into it. It's something he has to come, you know, it's something that he has to not do it for himself. You cannot make, you know, there's nothing you can do in the world that will make a man stop. You're not that special.
Yeah, but okay, now the question I have for you, right? Okay. Because at the beginning, okay, every man cheats at the beginning, right? At the beginning.
Well, it's not cheating, really. In the beginning, it's just he's still doing what he was doing before.
Yeah. But now the thing about it though is that once he's trying to stop, right, or once you actually the woman have a certain level of security in the relationship, knowing that they're gonna just break apart and all that shit, they've been together for a while. But how do you resolve? How does the woman actually has to resolve that that resentment from the past hurt? How does make amends?
Oh, you're hitting me with them hard ones today, man.
Yeah. Because a lot of times that's what happened, though, right? Because okay, let's put it this way, right? The guy cheats, and then so he's like he feel bad about it, try to make it work, and then his woman find out, and then you know they have a huge fight, and then he's trying not to do it again, and then but the fight continue. Every argument, she just.
I will tell you, the resentment isn't as hard to get over as the trust issue. That is the hardest part, because that is where the resentment comes from, is because she's struggling to trust you again.
All right.
That's why she's so mad. And the anger is twofold. She's mad that she can't trust you, and she's mad that she's still there.
All right.
Okay. And if she's a good woman, she's also mad that she can't return the favor.
Yeah.
So that's why you get hit with that hell.
Wait. You gotta say that again, because that is a good point. All right, can you repeat that again? The reasons why.
Okay, the anger. The anger is from um you cheating,
Mm-hmm.
right? So breaking heart, whatever. The breaking heart, it doesn't literally break, okay? It hurts, but the hurt is because it broke your trust. So the anger is I can't trust him again, and the anger is I can't return the favor, and the anger is why am I still here? Okay? The problem is if a woman leaves you because you cheated, she's going to take that resentment and take it out on the next man that's going to be with her.
Mm-hmm.
This is where a lot of men say, well, you're insecure, you've got insecurities, that's your problem, you deal with it. No, it's just that she didn't get closure and resolution with the motherfucker that she wished she could, because that's the motherfucker she's in love with, not you. She's in love with the one that broke her fucking heart. But because society says leave him because once a cheater, always a cheater, she left him. But now she's got to settle with your ass. Okay? And she might fall in love with you eventually, but she's not going to give herself the opportunity because she's already broken. Okay? What I mean by that is she's already hurt and the trust issues are already there. The trust issues are with all men. Not just that one particular man. Like everyone's like, oh, leave your other problems that person caused you with that person. That doesn't work that way. Okay? Because you know why? Because that pain that you feel is supposed to change you. Which is where, you know, the conflict resolution comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Why it's like
all right, finish that, and after I have a train of thought. So go ahead.
Okay, now go ahead.
All right.
I can finish that.
So, but there's also the lack of acknowledgement for men's pain as well. What I mean by this is
cheating. I'm sorry.
No. It's not even about cheating, right? Okay. The reason why men
there's a reason, there is a reason men cheat, and a lot of times we don't really pay attention to that, do we? We don't pay attention to what led to the cheating when it comes to men.
Okay. Put it this way, right? Like, at the beginning, men cheat.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the beginning, men do not take the relationship serious. The reason that men do not take relationship serious is because that they do not know whether or not the woman's gonna change her mind, and they do not want to actually invest, to be emotionally invested in a relationship to which the woman can actually be like, oh, you know what?
Men are emotionally weaker than women.
When it comes to emotion,
emotionally.
Okay. It's not no. It's not because that men are weaker than women when it comes to emotion. It's because that the pain that they feel when their heart is broken, they cannot actually react the same way as the woman would. Like, for example, right? But listen, right? You can, but there's a lot more consequences that come with it. Like, for example, if you piss up at somebody, right? If as a woman, you can actually, you know, stab the motherfucker's tires, break his fucking windows, or do some shit. You know, hit him with a frying pan.
Society of men allowed it.
You know, hit him with a frying pan or some shit like that, right? But when it comes to, let's say, it's his anger, right? A woman, like a guy, as soon as he actually, like, you know, show the level of anger that he has, let's say that, you know, he shake your ass a little bit or put his hands on you because you fucked up, right? Automatically, it doesn't matter what the fuck the woman did. Automatically, he's the bad guy now. You see what I'm saying? So at the beginning, in order for them to protect themselves from the hurt or any future hurt, then they cannot be emotionally invested. So then therefore it's like, well, you know, if she gonna cheat on me, you know, fuck it. At least I'm getting mine. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you let me get mine first before she does hers.
Yeah, exactly.
One up, right? Let me have one up on her.
One up, yeah. And then until afterward, then you're like, God damn, this bitch is still around. She haven't played me yet and all that shit. And then now the guilt to start to set in. If you're a good guy. Because there's a lot of piece of shit out there, just like there's a lot of piece of shit women out there.
Yeah, of course. But you know, we're not speaking about the pieces of shit. They get plenty of volume in the world. We need to be talking about them.
So yeah. So now as far as, look, there are a lot of good guys out there, but the thing about it though, there's this lack of patience, and also there's ego. The ego, like, how dare he cheated on me? You know, I'm the best that he will ever has. But but in reality, it's like, yeah, you might be a great fucking woman, but the cheating was never really about you. It was about, like, there's this unresolved conflict within him, what he
Yeah.
should find himself. And then, you know, and sometimes the frustration can only be resolved by a new set of pussy, you know? And that's
Yeah.
like a little drug. It's like, all right, I feel better now. Oh shit, no, I don't. I feel like shit.
Yeah. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you turn this? Can you end this podcast and start a new one right after?
Yeah, I can.
Segments. I think that's a good section to stop.
Okay. Well,
Don't forget your train of thought though, because it's a great way to start the next one.
all right. So, I mean, shit. What were we talking about again?
You were just talking about men cheating.
Yeah.
Cheating, it being about him, the internal conflict.
Okay. All right, good. So we'll head up to that one next. This is ArtBenaca and Serious. Well, how can we find you, Serious?
Huh?
How can we find you as far as your social media platform? I know you.
I'm most active on Twitter.
Twitter and
it's gonna be. I mean, I am on Instagram, but I'm not very active on Instagram. I don't really accept friend requests on Facebook. So the easiest way to find me is Twitter.
I'm curious, why don't you really like friend requests on Facebook?
Because that's bait book. Too much shit. I don't know. I have my personal name on there and my family and friends, and that's it. Okay. I mean, I do have some strangers on there, but I tried accepting some new people, and I'm just tired of flooded dick pics. So I just stopped accepting friend requests on Facebook unless I already personally know you or you know someone that I know.
All right.
Personally, not some strange people. So that's no. But Instagram and Twitter. Usually, you can definitely find me on Twitter. I'm most active on Twitter. But Art's gonna have it in his description box.
All right, cool. So yeah, this is ArtBenaca and Serious. And the next podcast, we're gonna talk about how what your
section. Yeah.
In the next podcast, I want to talk about what is a man's initial reaction when his girl's getting dick pics.
All right. So we'll be back.
All right, we'll be back. Peace.